Lesson 4, standard deviation with frequency tables. So this is going to be a little bit different than before because we don't actually know the pieces of data. We just know how many times these hours come up. So we're going to have to make a couple different sections to our table. So the first is the interval. So that's 3 to 5. That's not a good line. 5 to 7. 7 to 9. 9 to 11. 11 to 13. And 13 to 15. So what that means is that the question's asking about males and females who play video games. So that means that 7 tested between 3 and 5. 11 tested between 5 and 7. So we want to kind of make an accurate depiction of this data. So our first column, we're going to do how many girls. So that's how many come up in the frequency. So we have 7, 11, 16, 19, 12, and 5. Next, we're going to find the midpoint. So the midpoint is going to be between these two numbers. And the reason we choose the midpoint is it's going to be the best way to show the most information. So we're going to call it X, and it represents the hours worked. So that's the data. So that's the number of hours they play video games. That's supposed to say video. Video G. There we go. That doesn't even look like that. Anyways, so the midpoint between 3 and 5 is 4. The midpoint between 5 and 7 is 6. 7 and 9 is 8. 9 and 11 is 10. 12, and 14. So there are all our midpoints. Now to find the total hours played, so how many hours these girls played, we're going to take F and times it by 6. So that'll figure out our total hours altogether. And that will help us find the mean. So 7 times 4 is 28. 11 times 6 is 66. 16 times 8 is 128. 19 times 10 is 190. 12 times 12 is 144. And 5 times 14 is 70. So we're just going to have this bottom is going to be totals. So the total number of girls is we're going to add up this column. So there's 70 girls. So that means N is equal to 70. We're going to add up all this. So the total hours played is equal to this column, and when you add everything together, you get 626. So that means to find the mean, which is X bar, you're going to take 626, divide it by 70, and you get 8.9 hours. Now we're going to find the data minus the average squared. So the way that we get that is we're going to take the hours worked, or the hours worked, the hours played by the video games, subtracted from the mean. So for this one we have 4 minus 8.9 squared, and you should get negative 4 point, I don't have enough room. Negative 4.9 squared. So you're going to do that for all of them. So 6 minus the average, and you get negative 2.9 squared. 8 minus 8.9 is negative 0.9 squared. 10 minus 8.9 is 1.1 squared. 12 minus 8.9 is 3.1 squared. And 14 minus 8.9 is 5.1 squared. So that represents how much they deviate from the average. Now what we want to find is, we know that there's not just one girl who plays video games for 4 hours, there's actually 7. So we have to multiply the data 7 times so that we represent all of those girls. So we're going to multiply everything. So it's going to be 7 times negative 4.9 squared, and you should get, I'll try to write it in, you should get 168.07. So we're going to do that for all of these. So 11 times negative 2.9 squared, and you get 92.51. 16 times negative 0.9 squared, you get 12.96. 19 times 1.1 squared is 20.9. 12 times 3.1 squared is 115.32. And 5 times 5.1 squared is 130.05. And we want to total it all up so that we can find the sum of x minus x bar squared. So that's what you get when you total all of this up. Add them all together, you should get 539.81. So e of x minus x bar squared is equal to 539.81. So now we're going to calculate the deviation. So it's going to be this divided by our number of terms, which is 70, and take the square root of it, and you should get 2.78 hours. We want to compare that with the males. So for the males, they had an average of 12.84 hours and a standard deviation of 2.16 hours. The females had an average of 8.9 hours and a standard deviation of 2.78 hours. So the way that we can compare this is, obviously the males have a higher average, so the males play video games longer, and I'm sure we all can just assume that, judging by our classmates. But I mean, hey, girls can play video games too. It's totally fine. I play video games sometimes, maybe not for 13 hours. Okay, so males play video games longer, and their deviation doesn't vary much past that. So the deviation is smaller. That's how we're going to compare them. So there you have it. P.S. I like to play Pokemon, so yay for video games.